Thanks. Appreciate it.
How much did that slow start hurt you once again? Did it surprise you with the stakes today?
I knew they had been playing really well, Brett, certainly shooting it well. They made 14 threes on Sunday. They're number one in the league offensive efficiency. I thought they'd even gotten better offensively watching them coming into Game 3 than the first 2 games. And, we're hoping, obviously, everybody hopes to defend the three-point line against them. They made 9 today, 20-some% in the second half. I thought at the end of the day what hurt us as much as anything was our turnovers. We had 14 turns, 4 or 5 in the second half is tolerable, but 9 in the first half. It was like a 7 or 8 point differential in points off turnovers when it's an 11-point game at the half, I just thought our miscues there in handling the ball probably hurt us as much as anything else. I don't think it was, I agree with Tracy. I thought our kids competed and they fought. Just the execution of taking care of the ball, I thought hurt us in the first half.
Was Malcolm hurt?
He was okay coming into the game. He had a little knick-knack from over the weekend when we played in Piscataway. That's why he had the brace on. But he moved well yesterday in practice. Obviously was hobbling a little bit there in the second half, and Schmidt will have to kind of give me the report on him after the game here once I get a chance to get with him.
You talked about whether the team will accept an NIT bid if it's offered.
Yeah, at this point, what I'm going to do, Rob, honestly, is kind of get through today, have a chance to sit down with with Josh and Paul, with our older guys, our seniors, and we certainly weren't thinking about that coming into today. I know you can appreciate that. So, once I have a chance to kind of sit down and bring everybody together and connect everybody, I'll have more of an answer for you.
Emotionally, you look forward to the opportunity to coach these guys a few more games.
Oh, I love coaching these guys. They're fight, man. They've been a bunch of fighters, and because of that, the last 4 to 6 weeks in particular, they've really shown me a lot. And I'm proud of the way they fought. They fought again today. We didn't play well necessarily today at times, but they fought really both halves to come back. Significant deficits. Obviously, certainly give credit to all the guys, but Tracy's certainly a big part of that with his disposition, his voice. I think he's really taught those young guys a lot. He's taken that very seriously to be a legacy giver. And I think he's really taught our young guys, our freshmen and sophomores, a lot about how to be a pro's pro and how to handle things that's going to bode very well for us.
You said seniors die hard, and Tracy did that today.
Yeah.
What was your take on his last guaranteed game, John?
Well, I thought he was really good. Battled at both ends. He's an old head. He said met the game. He said I made a mistake here or there or here. He's one of those guys that he's not thinking about all the really good plays I thought he made throughout the game. But more important than the plays and the points and all that is just who he is in the huddle. His voice in huddles, the way he handles his teammates, the way they respond to him. That's a big deal. And again, those things are more important than the little X and O things that he's taught and the basketball things that he's taught those younger guys. So I'm very grateful for that.
If you guys do not make the NCAA tournament, it'd be 4 out of 5 years. How does that sit with you?
Well, I don't like it. Obviously, it's different. Each year's a little bit different. I think you have to kind of look at it as to, the reason and all that. But obviously we had our chance. Our kids fought back. There were a lot of people that gave them very little chance when we were sitting at 4-9, and fought back. And this team has been through a lot, as Tracy mentioned. Some of which people know, some of which they don't, and that's okay. It stays with our team. In terms of stuff guys dealt with to come back to get their bodies ready to play, things they dealt with during the season. I have a lot of respect for those guys.
When you meet with Josh, what will your conversation be like, and what will you tell him about the future of the program, Joe?
No differently than what we've talked about. We obviously know we've got a lot of freshmen and sophomores, and a lot of those guys have learned a lot and started to play really well here the last 4 to 6 weeks. We're fully aware of who we have coming in our recruiting class, and of course that's never finished. You always are recruiting every day, so I feel good. Certainly 4 to 6 weeks ago, I didn't feel as good about maybe in terms of how we were playing. Obviously, you can't control the results all the time, but in terms of what we want to be about, the fight, the way we prepare, the will to prepare, the way guys approach practice, the teammates that guys have been to each other, the young guys' development. You put all that together, and I think, certainly over the last month, I've made the comment that I think it's the most connected team we've had over the last month, since I've been at Illinois. So you add that to what we've got coming in, and some guys are young now. They had some more young guys. It's exciting. But like Rob said, I want to keep coaching these guys.
You expect to be back next year?
Sure. Until that's as long as I'm the coach today. I always expect that. I think that for me, I look at it one day at a time, and I approach it that way. Let's put it that way. Every single day. I'm always thinking about it's my job to do that, to learn from every circumstance, to continue to coach this team, as Rob mentioned, is important to me, and to continue to build for the future. And that's what we do every day. So, that's certainly my expectation.
This whole ordeal with Michigan, how did it affect you guys? What was that like?
It was interesting, Jeremy. Obviously, certainly no excuses. They had to deal with a lot more. I mean, they were in the situation. I'm just glad they're safe and healthy and all that. But it was unique with who's wearing what uniform, what time the game's going to be tipped, and when you're going out for warm-ups. And, well, that's going to change. It's been moved again. But, you've got to be unconditional. You have to be flexible. Again, the most important thing is something like that certainly puts all this in perspective. I'm just glad that they're safe and glad that they're healthy.
Sure. Is there something about this Michigan team's growth over the year? I assume you weren't expecting to lose by 20 today, considering you did beat this team.
Yeah, I mean, I think offensively, obviously, they've been good for a long time. All you got to do is look at their statistics. But I think a big difference for them, Rob, is how they're playing defensively. I thought today they were very disruptive. They were stingy defensively. And you add that in concert with how everybody knows how good they are offensively. The numbers show that. They're number one in the league. They're top 10 in the nation. They shoot the ball well. They spread you out. Certainly the development of Wagner, I think, gives them a different dimension at the 5. And then their guards played really well today. And then I think Walton, over the last 10 games, as we really dissected and digested film, I think he's playing. There's a lot of really good players in our league that have played well. But I think he's playing as well as anybody right now. As I said in the press conference, he's kind of the head of the snake.
John, you rattled off a lot of intangibles there for what you think you guys have accomplished this season, even though the results maybe weren't what you wanted to be.
Yeah.
When you look at kind of the last few years as a whole, do you see a lot of improvement in that intangible?
Well, each year is different, so I look at it independent. It's easy to, bunch everything together. Where were we when we started? Who do we have? Who do we have to bring in the first class? Injuries, games guys miss. So each year is different. Each game's different. I think it's really difficult to, bulk it all together and give it one hey, this is the whole. It's hard to do that because each game's different, and each team's different, each year's different. But I do like what we've done over the last 4 to 6 weeks, especially here, and that's the foundation to me. Is that I thought we did finally get this year's team got to the point where we really played with some toughness and togetherness. We had good leadership, had good connection with our players, and I think that stuff is you got to have that first before you can do ultimately what you want to do, and that's why I feel good about our team.
Last question from me kind of follows up on that, and I've asked you this before. I think that what you would rather do, philosophically, is coach the guys up, see them get better. And it's a couple of seasons you've had where you got better towards the end, but you lost a lot of games. And I think if you had to do it over again, you would do exactly the same thing instead of trading in, a couple of wins, taking shortcuts, that sort of thing.
Yeah, there's no question about that. We're not going to do that. That's just not how we're wired, Rob. And I appreciate you saying that. But you're exactly right. We're going to try to wake up every day and do the right thing. And keep grinding and swinging the hammer every day and keep trying to move the needle forward. Again, for me, the last 4 to 6 weeks have really have been good and healthy, not only for our team and our pro, but for me as well, to kind of watch those guys really change and develop and mature and grow as human beings. They've done a great job, obviously, as students. Athletically, they've developed. Our team has really developed and grown into a team, and that's what's made them so fun to coach over the last 4 to 6 weeks.
DJ played for the first time in 12 games. What went into that decision? How do you see his future?
Well, first I thought his minutes were really good. I told him that when he came out. He practiced really, really well over the last couple of days, had a great spirit about him, had an edge to him, and my gosh, was I excited about what I saw in the last couple of days of practice, and that's why he got the opportunity that he got today. And, DJ's going to have more opportunity in the palm of his hands as we start to have graduation, lost to attrition a little bit, Derek. And but I really liked what I saw to him the last couple of days. I liked his edge. I liked his work ethic. I liked his focus. and that resulted in him playing today. And I think the future's bright for him.
Thanks, John.
Sure. Yeah. All right, guys.